Good evening, everyone. Gabs here. What's in a Glass Digital Beer Streams. Welcome. Wednesday, 21st of April. You probably are going to the pubs from a couple of days safely outside, having a couple of pints with friends. Well, I wish that for you. If we ever met before, my name is Gabs. I'm trying to be the best beer communicator I can. I'm trying to engage with the local community, with the beer community, try different channels and different platforms. The main reason because I'm doing that is because I believe our industry is one of the most sociable. You go into the pub, you go into festivals, you're meeting people, and that's the way that you are becoming a better member of this community. Call it beer, call it brewing, call it hospitality. This is it. I started with What's in the Glass a couple of months ago. Has been a great journey. We met a lot of people, a lot of guests, and as you can see also today, we always choose carefully them, trying to build interesting conversations around our industry, about all things that happen. So this is how it started with the Digital Beer Stream, the show that you're watching today. We're also producing Turning the Tide, which is a show about the transformation of London drinking culture through pubs. We'll see in the future if you want to explore all the sides of it. And yeah, I mean, as I said, conversation in a way is key. Even just in the last 12 months, we managed to go through so many important conversations, so many important topics. We now know more who we are and what we're doing. We know each other, we know the faces, we know how we're moving, how we sound, and this is great. This is fantastic. Sometimes you don't have that time when you are going to the pub, when you are going, in different places. So the most important thing is always try to engage with everyone. Let me put it this way. So if you know the quality of the show, as I said before, we are always trying to speak with people that have a lot to say. And clearly, Tom from We Are Beer is one of them. If you haven't met him in some of the best pubs in East London or around the UK, is a lovely guy. I had numerous chances to communicate with him through social media. This is actually the first time that we are meeting probably and having a conversation or discussion face to face. And if you don't know what he's doing for We Are Beer, well, he's the marketing manager, which in a large term is dealing with all the way that the brand is going out and all the way that the festivals are approaching the world outside. So it's a pretty intense job, I'm pretty sure, because in a way, there are numerous festivals around all the rest of the UK, and all of them have different specifications and different topics and different priorities. So I'm super happy and super curious to hear what you have to say. So please, guys, if you can help me to welcome Tom. Tom is in the show. Hello.
Ooh, hey, Gabs, how you doing?
Very good, man. Nice to see you finally. Yes.
Yeah, finally, we made it happen.
Yes. How about you? Everything fine for you?
Yeah, really good. Obviously, yeah, it's been a couple of weeks, since pubs opening as well. So it's been great to see people just out meeting friends again, having fun. Spoke to someone today. It felt like when summer's back and everyone's drinking outside.
Yeah,
kind of felt those vibes. So yeah, it's great to see. Yeah,
absolutely. Well, again, I managed to go to just one pub for now, which is in Waterloo. It was Monday. It was quiet and chill as you expect a Monday, but the sensation was fantastic. And even like the small interaction that you have with the people. Again, with the people, because this is what we were all missing, has been super remarkable. Tom, I know pretty well what you're doing and who you are and what is your role within our industry. And I would love to make sure that you present yourself in the best way you can to all of the audience. So please, Tom, tell us about you.
So Tom Meyer, I'm the marketing manager at We Are Beer. So for anyone who doesn't know who We Are Beer is, we run craft beer festivals across the UK. So we run Bristol Craft Beer Festival, Beer Central in Birmingham, Edinburgh Craft Beer Festival, Manchester Craft Beer Festival, and London Craft Beer Festival, and Bigfoot Festival as well. We've added. So yeah, we run quite a few events.
Wow. Let me put it this way. If you're London based, you definitely know London Craft Beer Festival, because is not only the best place where you can get, the best beers from the city, but it's the place where the community meet all together. We're catching up with the new beers. We're catching up with the new logos of the breweries and the new, employees, which probably is someone else from a brewery than just moving another brewery for all the reasons that they may have. But when you started, actually, and when was the first craft beer that you did around the UK, if you remind that?
Yeah, so the first festival I did was London Craft Beer Festival. So I think timing wise, I just missed out on, it would have been Edinburgh. And then we're working towards London. And yeah, God, it's actually 3 years. I've been with the company for 3 years now this week.
Just kind of wow, congratulations.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, and what an amazing festival to start with. I think it was something like 13,000 people. I was just so proud, what we'd achieved. And yeah, like you said, you just see all the faces, you see everyone having a great time. And yeah, it's funny how you're saying, you see people working from one brewery and then they're working for another one. You're like, hey, why are you wearing that brewery's t-shirt? And like, oh, I moved over there now. You're like, oh, okay. It's hard to keep tabs on everyone. Yeah. But yeah, so it was London Craft Beer Festival that I first did. Yeah, it was amazing.
And let me ask you this, Tom. When you are going to one of the craft beer festivals that you're organizing around the UK, what do you find in these craft beer festivals? I'm definitely pretty sure that, as I know, I've been in many of them, and there are lots of breweries that are presenting their beers, and they're doing it with almost like their own space, which they can use for meet customers during the customer session, or other people from the industry if they are want to greetings each other. And what else you can find in these festivals?
So yeah, obviously, yeah, we are beer festivals. That's what we're called, but we really concentrate on the quality of food as well, and music acts as well. We always have headline music acts come along. So we are really about the whole celebration of craft beer, and that the celebration of craft beer does delve into food, does delve into music, and then moves across to different drinks, spirits, cider. It's really emerged into its own thing. So yeah, we used to use the slogan kind of internally of more than just a beer festival, because what we don't want people to think of is see beer festival and then think, right, this is just one big room, all kind of barrels around the room and kind of volunteers pouring. With us, it's really about exploring. That's why most of our venues, we want you to move around. From Tobacco Dock, there's so many different rooms, so many different places to explore. And then the beauty as well is that you get to meet the breweries, the brewers themselves, or the teams, and get to speak to them about the beer. So yeah, it's a celebration is kind of the best way to describe what we do with each festival, and then celebrating the local elements as well. That's really important from us for each festival. There's people in Edinburgh that probably don't even know that we do London or Bristol or anything like that. To them, this is the Edinburgh Craft Beer Festival. We have some of the best Scottish breweries up there, and we bring people from outside as well. But yeah, it's just a celebration. Well,
and you know how to do it pretty well as well, because every time, as I said, I visit the London Craft Beer Festival. The atmosphere was great, and something that I always wanted to underline to you guys, because you really are champions on doing that, is creating safe places and where everyone is feel welcome, and it's not exclusive. People that maybe don't have the same kind of beer knowledge than someone else to not find lost itself, and it's a place where celebration is for everyone, right?
Yeah, and that's a very important part of what we do as well, and it's why we have the kind of all-in ticket model, because if you go into a beer festival, you've just bought a ticket for entry, and then you're going in. It becomes transactional straight away. So you're going up, and you're looking at the beer style. You're trying to think, will I enjoy it? Oh, how much is it for that third? How much is that one over there? How many tokens is this? How many tokens is that?
Yeah.
With us, we've just taken that transaction part out, and then it really does mean you can go up to any of the breweries. And this is how I got into sours. So when I went to London Craft Beer Festival before I worked for them, and I never enjoyed sour beers, and then my ticket meant I could try all the beers. So it meant I got to go in, try sour, and I started to realize, wow, these are really nice. And that meant I could go around and try more sour beers. Had I been to a festival where I had to pay for that, I would have seen a sour and been like, no, I don't want it. I'm going to buy something else. So it means it allows people to really explore different tastes, different flavors, different beers, and if you don't like it, you can throw it away. We have literally bins right next to you to throw them away if you don't want it. It's it's not frowned upon to do that. We just want to make sure you're having a great time, really, and just exploring it.
Absolutely, and there are probably people that are working in marketing, because London is one of the places with the highest number of marketing employee, probably in the world. I don't know, something like that. And there are people that probably also like beer and think about that. Your job is a kind of dream, working for a marketing company, but then at the same time beer festival, which is all fun. And tell us a bit more, like, how did you started to work in within the craft beer, and how did you find yourself into this?
So it started off. I got to a point in marketing. I'm actually my background was journalistic, so I got a master's in journalism, but I graduated at a time when there was just no journalism jobs, like no one was paying for anything. So I had to quickly adapt my skills to fit. Well, social media, it was at the time, that was really big. There was loads of jobs going. So I just adapted it, and, used to kind of treat it as these are just mini articles that I'm writing as a tweet or something like that. I just started to learn more and more about marketing, and then, worked for companies that I didn't enjoy at all, but I learned loads from. And then I just got to a point where I was like, right, I need to now move into something I'm passionate about. So originally I actually moved into street art. So I used to work for a street art company. So that was one of my passions. And then with craft beer, really, I just started to realize that my love for craft beer was overtaking street art. So I just happened to be looking for different roles that were happening. And weirdly enough, actually, the role that I applied for with We Are Beer, I didn't get. They actually created my role for me, because I came in with much more of a skill set than they were looking for. I basically luckily to create my own role. And as I say, I've been there for 3 years now, and it's I am definitely one of the lucky ones that I very much enjoy what I do, and it being a hobby as well. Yeah.
And first of all, apologize, because I realize that we are keep going for 15 minutes, and I probably let you say, let's have a beer or whatever. I don't know if you have it with me. I'm drinking a Vocation Walo Pale Ale, which has been donated by Sean from Walo itself. And I mean, this is probably the only beer that I'm gonna have for today, and I need to use the excuse that I'm live with you to doing it. I don't know I don't know if you're having some.
I was looking to make an excuse, but I was like, no, I need to I need to take a day off.
Well,
which is very important as well. Like people, yeah.
Interesting point, actually. You know, when you're creating an event like a beer festival, and especially when you're working in communication and marketing related to it, you do have to create a safe environment on social media as much as when you do it on for real, on offline. And you know, I always admire the way that, especially the London Craft Beer Festival, because they were the ones that I always follow. Communication comes out, which is super engaging, super colorful, and is really on time. Like, how much work is there? How much preparation you need to put on that?
So, I mean, yeah, the end of every festival run, we have a look back at what we've done and always look at ways we can improve it and see how we've see what messages we've kind of put out there. And I guess the key thing is to make sure that we're still pushing the idea of celebration, and you know that the idea of celebration is different for different people, and there's all different people to involve with that. So yeah, it's and with each festival, you know, being in a different location, you know, each one then denotes something different. So yeah, we do spend a lot of time at the start just making sure that we are ready for that year to really be able to push that message of celebration. And you know, we really had to adapt with COVID, obviously, with what we were putting out, because you know, I was seeing some people were still posting pictures of like large crowds and stuff, and I was just like, it's triggering. You're just like, wow, like there's so many people. So you know, there's just a simple adaptation of that, of just being like, look, we just need to show, you know, small groups of people. So yeah, I don't know if people know, but we actually did Bristol Craft Beer Festival last year. It came just before I think the Rule of Six was introduced, and we run a COVID safe festival. So you know, marketing that, we really had to change how we marketed. We couldn't show. You know, we actually had the brief to most photographers is show as many people having a great time as possible, and then suddenly all those images couldn't be used because it's not what people want to see. So yeah, we had to really change how we marketed the festival there. Yeah.
And let me put it this way, Tom. You definitely realize that given social media were the only way to be in touch with the people, with the crowd that normally are, you know, your festival's attendance, did you receive a bit of challenge spending even more time than what you normally do on social media and on all of the platforms, and try to engage and try to create conversations? Because talking about myself, I think I reach some kind of burnout level often. I don't know if you experience a similar you know, situation.
Yeah, we had to kind of take a bit of a stand back approach from it, because you know, we were, when kind of everything got cancelled, you know, it's hard to talk about anything. You know, as I mentioned about the images, it's hard to show images of people having fun. So actually, our decision was to kind of cut right back, and just kind of ride the wave a little bit, because we understood that we couldn't really talk about festivals or anything, because it just didn't feel the right thing to talk about. So we've, you know, there's almost as much planning and strategy in that than there is in actual posting as well. You know, almost like making sure that we aren't posting, and that, you know, so we did get to a point of, you know, sharing posts of our friends and, you know, our beer family, if you like, just sharing those messages out, and just having to step back.
And let me put it this way: what's happening with the festivals for 2021? Because I know I'm following the channels, but I couldn't believe when I saw then it's happening. You are going through the festival taking place.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, we added Manchester to the roster just for fun, launch a festival. But yeah, they're all going ahead. We're following all the guidance and restrictions for each of the festivals. So you know, Bristol and Bigfoot both fall under the June 21st date, but we're lucky within the roadmap there. We're still within kind of our attendees numbers are still within the restrictions. So, you know, we learned a lot from last year as well, putting on a COVID safe festival. So, you know, Bristol for this year in the 11th to 13th of June, we're very confident that we can just replicate what we did last year. There was no cases associated with the festival. Everyone had an amazing time. If anything, people loved having seats. It's something that we have some seats at the festival, but everyone just absolutely loved the fact that you could just sit down. So it's a bit of a blessing and a curse it was for that. But yeah, all the other festivals are beyond that June 21st date, and yeah, we're very confident. And I think just by looking at the amount of people that have bought tickets, I mean, as soon as the roadmap was announced, you know, I think most people in events will tell you like tickets just went through the roof. Like everyone was just so excited to put things in the diary again, and you know, remember what it's like to have a summer or have a social life even. So so yeah, we're going ahead with everything, and yeah, honestly, we can't wait to just raise a glass with everyone. It's been so long to see lots of friends and family who, you know, we consider friends and family within the industry.
And did you take inspiration from all the festivals, probably mainland Europe or overseas, or experimental situations where some solution had been put in place, or you wanted to go more like, we are beer style, we know how to do it safely, we know how to do it properly, that's the way to go. We do even more work, we do even our best 200% more to really deliver what we think is going to be perfect? Or did you study a bit? Like, how do you feel about that?
I think we learned a lot from Bristol last year. We had 2 stag meetings as well, so you know, it had to go past safety advisors there, and we're really lucky that with Jamie, who heads up our operations, she's absolute legend. Like she like really is the reason why the festivals do so well. It's one of the things that we always get feedback from breweries and stuff, is just how well organized it is and how happy they are to come along to them. So we were lucky that we already have a really good foundation of how we run our festivals. And then yeah, Bristol was just a lot of learning, a lot of guidance needed to be taken with Bristol Council and through SAG meetings. But you know, we're kind of almost planning that would be how we had to do all the festivals this year. So the roadmap really opened up things for us. So you know, we're lucky, we're adaptable. We know we've done Bristol. We know what we need to put in place. So if anything changed, we'd be able to do that for the other festivals as well. So yeah, I guess adaptability there has been really key.
And for the first time, probably in the UK, maybe in the world, I don't know, the people can, if they really love as much beer as they do with music and outdoor festivals, actually enjoy all 3 of them in one single place, because Bigfoot Festival is taking place as well. And how different is from the festival that we always did so far, Tom?
Yeah, I mean, so it's the ethos is still very much there, that kind of celebration of craft beer, and I guess what this has done though is it's stepped it up. We're like imagining a music festival where you don't just drink whatever, you know, kind of crap beer, or you know, whoever's paid to be there, or whatever sweet cider is on tap. You know, that's that's where the idea of Bigfoot came from. I mean, Greg and Dan have had this idea for years, and it's come out of going to these festivals and just being like, you know, craft beer has emerged, and we're still drinking really bad beer at these festivals. So yeah, we've just taken what we do at the festivals and just like times a million and just made it bigger. And you know, the music lineup, you know, it's rivals some of the festivals that are happening this year. Food lineup as well. You know, people come to London and any of the other festivals really. You know, we really concentrate on the quality of food. So we've got some top restaurants coming to Bigfoot, and then yeah, the beer. You know, it's crazy some of the names that are coming, and you know, we're getting Hill Farmstead over for the festival as well. So it's kind of like the first kind of music festival that they would have attended in the UK. So yeah, it's just really exciting, and you know, it's been really weird for us because you know we are still actually a small team for what we do, and you know, the fact that we're putting on not only just Bigfoot festival, but the other craft beer festivals at the same, you know, around the same time. I think it works out we're doing something like 6 festivals in 8 weeks or something like that. So yeah, it's a little bit crazy, but that's kind of who we are as well, and it just goes to show how much we love it as well.
But in the same time, meeting you, meeting Greg, meeting everyone that has been part of the We Are Beer team, you're a bunch of super positive, enthusiast people. Like, you started to do this yesterday. You still have this drive and you still have this enthusiasm. Look at you, you know, you just said you're doing around 7-8 festivals in 7-8 weeks. And you're doing this from, now you're doing it from 3 years, probably the other people in the team a couple of years more than you, but that's intense. And you're probably one of the few that never stopped, because you had to do a lot of things before, during, and after.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, I obviously I try and enjoy the festivals, but my mind is always on the next festival as I'm at one of the festivals. So yeah, it is sometimes weird being at one festival and like doing social posts or whatever, or marketing bits for the other ones. But yeah, I mean, I absolutely love being there. I love being on site. I love seeing everyone. As I said, you know, they really are like friends and family. So the fact that we haven't seen some people since 2019 has been crazy. And I mean, I've got my daughter is nearly 2 years old. The fact that some people like don't even know that she exists, I've not even spoken to people about her, is crazy to think. So yeah, we just we love what we do. It is stressful. There is a lot of work. You know, the nature of festivals as well. You know, they have to happen in the summer, and there's only so many months in the UK that you can guarantee. We can't even guarantee good weather. So that's why they're kind of spread thinly. But yeah,
in many people are probably curious about 2 things, as I am. One, I briefly mentioned to you before the streaming, and was, how do you choose the colors for each of the festivals? And you told me one which is super cool, right?
Yeah. So the one that we were actually more involved with, this was with Manchester. So the colors there are a kind of deep orange red, and then a kind of darker green as well. So we actually we've got some guys that we go to who've done all the colors and all the logos for us, and the colors there came from Manchester itself. So looking at the buildings there, the kind of red and orange bricks, and then those kind of those bright green doors that you see around the area as well. So yeah, you know, that really came out of a reflection of the city, and that I think for Manchester that was important as well for us. That and it, yeah, I absolutely love the colours. Look amazing. We're really happy with it.
They work very well together as well. There is this kind of organic navigation along them, and I also like the fact that, you know, It's, as I said, a splash of color. And sometimes, at least in my experience, in my knowledge, beer festivals tend to be very secretive. Like they don't like to showcase too much, and the character that they have, they expose themselves too much. But then when you go to see London Craft Beer Festival, you almost have this kind of impact. Like, wow, the page is so deep red, almost like that kind of. It's a festival. It's a fully festival. If of course it's beer, and of course there are elements that it brings you into the beer, but there aren't necessarily, the pints or the four ingredients or signatures or stuff. It's a new concept. It's installing something which is disruptive from before. Do you know what I mean, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah. As I said, like, we still get loads of messages, people in like, what do you mean but all my beers included? Like they still don't quite understand. Like they think there's a kind of a catch. So part of our marketing as well is to try and make sure that we explain that process as much as possible, and yeah, just move away from the kind of more traditional view of what a craft or what a beer festival would look like. So yeah, like you said, the splash of color, kind of modernizing, and we definitely have a younger crowd, and it's definitely a crowd that isn't just like us, like craft beer geeks. There's people that might just go down the pub and have Beavertown or a Brewdog, and just that's all they know. But when you have this kind of offer to kind of explore and try different stuff, for some people it's just like a no-brainer. And yeah, as you say, like so great to hear that how you feel about the color schemes and how things pop out. So yeah, it's working.
I love the emotions then are giving me, and definitely another point of curiosity would be, so how big you want to go? Is a constant reaching the level of having a bigger festival, a better festival, and if that is the aim in a way, I don't know, do you see like a single national beer festival for 1 week somewhere where everyone can come, or more festivals probably in different areas around the UK, slowly with the time? Like, give us some kind of vision for the future, please.
Yeah, I think launching Manchester this year shows what we're trying to achieve. I think there's such an importance of picking a city, for example, and then a city like Manchester as well, and having those breweries come along to the festival. That's their neighborhood. That's where they operate, and it's important to have that there. And then we're able to bring in breweries that we know from all over as well. So what I've really loved, I think, Beer Central, which is in Birmingham as well. There's a lot of breweries that came along that wouldn't have known any of the Birmingham breweries. So it was they got to then go in and explore and try those beers, and some collaborations come out of our festivals as well, just from the brewers going around and speaking to different breweries. So yeah, I think that's still very important from us. I think we'd take away we'd take away something if we had like I know London is a big festival, but the beauty there is that it's in a space that works. Like you still feel you're still exploring little rooms here and there, and that's why the space that we use is really important. I mean, this year it took us a while to find the right space for Beer Central. We weren't able to use the space from last year, so we could have easily just picked a kind of characterless place, but we that's a really big part of what we do. We want to make sure that the environment is right as well. So yeah, you'll likely see more festivals pop up in different cities, and yeah, help celebrate those breweries that are already there as well.
I do have my personal opinion because I had so many guests from Yorkshire and call it Leeds will be a problem for the Sheffield community. Call it Sheffield will be a problem for the Leeds community. Just saying Yorkshire, and you decide the rest of it, because apparently there is so much over there which could potentially, deserve a special place. I don't know.
Yeah, definitely. I think, for us, Manchester we've always had our eyes there, because obviously it's just an amazing city for beer. We just also wanted to make sure they weren't treading on toes, and that we're part of the community there of already, indie beermans already there, and obviously Cloudwater have their festival. We have good relationships with everyone, and we I hope that people see like our aim of kind of it being a celebration, and to come to that city and be able to put on kind of one of our We Are Beer festivals. I know we've had a lot of people that were really excited, and well, we know from ticket sales as well that Manchester is really looking forward to that festival.
We do have a fan here watching today, Mars from Marble. She seems pretty excited about the opportunity to have.
Yeah, I mean, I'm so excited to be able to, I've never been to Manchester for beer, so I'm really looking forward to it. So I'll be heading to Marble Arch as well, for sure.
There we go.
The pilgrimage.
Yeah, well, she will look after you. And Tom, like someone with your experience and your insight within our industry could potentially be very helpful to picture what could be the future of our industry. And one of the first questions, of course, is how do you think the online, the digital, will stay in our community, in our reality of as beer people, or even like people in general? And how do you see the role of the digital in a couple of months' time?
Yeah, it's interesting. Pre-COVID side of stuff, there were digital things happening. So, for example, beer bods would do their weekly tasting, craft beer hour, getting everyone online drinking certain beers at a certain time. So it's not like it didn't exist. Obviously, what's happened though, there's been a massive gap where people haven't been able to meet up in person. So, things like this and virtual beer festivals had to happen because, we're social beings. We need contact with people. So that had to happen. I think some of them will still happen. There are still people that are don't live in big cities and things like that, and still crave to be part of the craft beer community, if you like. And those online communities are able to facilitate that. But I still believe, we want to meet up with people. We want to have that experience. I think being around people, although it's going to be weird for a lot of people at the start, because we've basically been told to stay 2 meters away from absolutely everyone. So we will slowly get back into it. But I think you're already seeing it now in beer gardens. People are just having so much fun and just being able to, speak face to face as well. You kind of forget how much you miss from, body language, or, just chatting to people, or you just don't get that same effect online. So I think that reflects as well with us what we're seeing this year of why people are booking to come to our festivals. Like it's getting the friends together. It's all having a great time and experience, and that shared experience that turns into memories as well is so important. And I think it's hard to create that online. So yeah, for me, I think it will just be there will be digital things that still carry on. But I think that need for people to be around each other will always be there. It has to be.
Well, I've taken it for granted, and again, I can't wait to see you in a pub or in a festival and just share a beer and have a good time together. Just for the marketing speech, can I buy a ticket from one of your festival already? Can I just go on a website and they're all available right now?
They are, yeah. Bristol at the moment is just our Sunday ticket. So we sold out the other sessions currently, but yeah, all tickets are on sale. To list them all is be hard, but
yeah. I do have just a question from Mersey Beers. He was mentioning the fact that Verdant will launch a Bristol tap room on the same Bristol Craft Beer Festival day. And did you know that by any chance?
You know, I'm sure you know as well, Gabs, right? There's rumors and stuff fly around left, right, and center. So yeah, we're good friends with the guys at Verdant, so it's something we've heard about. Obviously, COVID stops a lot of things. I know a lot of things that were planned to happen that haven't happened in other cities as well. So yeah, this is something we heard about, but yeah, I'm really glad for those guys. Bristol's an amazing city, and it'd be great to be able to have more availability of Verdant there as well.
Yep. In London, since the experiment started to exist, we took the advantage of visiting them quite often. So yeah, I took that. Tom, I'm pretty sure we gave a very full insight of what you're doing, what you guys doing, what are the exciting possibilities for the summer, for this year, to coming back and enjoy again all of the incredible things that you do. And if anyone haven't been yet to one of the festivals, then we are create. Probably it's time to go this year, because you're gonna have a safe, super cool, with a very great beer lineup and probably a very good music lineup as well if you go for the Bigfoot Festival. So thank you very much, Tom, to be here with me today.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's been awesome.
I'm glad you enjoyed. And for everyone watching us today, I'll see you next week, because I do have a pretty busy week of moving and things around. And if you want to watch tomorrow, the 4th episode of Turning the Tide, just the YouTube channel, 7 o'clock, you're going to find it there. Thank you, Tom. Thanks a lot.
Cheers. See you later.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.